Hi, welcome to North Hardin High School. My name is Leslie Hall, and I am with the North Hardin Youth Services Center, but we're here today to tape a small segment on healthy eating with teens in Mrs. Jacobs' food class, and this is all part of the Hardin County Schools Family Resource and Youth Service Center's Health Week. So apparently it's sometime between February 5th and 9th that you'll be seeing this, and we're very excited to have our students here to cook for you today.
Hello, my name is Chris Woofter. I'm in 12th grade, and I'd like to welcome you to our Advanced Foods and Nutrition class at North Hardin High School. Today we'll be cooking my mom's recipe that she created while I was younger, and I will give each student a chance to introduce themselves.
My name is Kyle McDonald, and I'm in the 12th grade, and today we'll be focusing on healthy eating with the Hardin County Family Resource and Youth Service Center's countywide Health Week.
My name is Zach Mackey. I'm an 11th grader. Healthy eating is very important at every age. You should try and maintain a diet of proteins, fruits, vegetables, and dairy. And you should try and avoid foods like saturated fats, sodium, and sugars.
My name is Talia Morris. I'm in 12th grade. For healthy eating, let's start with these tips. Do you know what foods and what amounts are best for you? Go to USDA MyPlate and start building your own healthy meal plan.
Hello, my name is Christian Calderon. I'm in 12th grade. I'd like to talk about the food groups: vegetables, dairy, proteins, fruits, things like that.
Hello, my name is Deegan Lewis. I'm in the 12th grade, and I'd like to remind you to stay active outside of your schoolwork with things like taking out the dog, hanging out with friends, and participating in other activities.
Hi, my name is Nyla Landry. I'm a junior. It's important to keep water handy. Water is a better option than most drinks available, and always be sure to keep a reusable water bottle on you, and keep it in your bag, and skip the sugary sodas and the fruit drinks and energy drinks and sport drinks.
My name is Odin Morris, and I'm in the 9th grade, and you need to build strong bones, get calcium and vitamin D that your growing bones need. Choose a low-fat and fat-free milk and soy milk, yogurt, and you can also get vitamin D from being outside too.
I'm Nyla Landry. I am a junior. Be like us. Get active in the kitchen and learn how to make new dishes like Chris's mom, and be sure to include extra vegetables and fruits for nutrients and added flavor.
So let's get started with our healthy chicken recipe. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on our chicken. While I'm doing this, I have the rest of the people in my group that are going and they're preparing the potatoes, and they're chopping up the bacon, and they're mixing together our chicken mix for the center of our chicken. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna butterfly our chicken. So you're gonna be careful doing this. You're gonna hold your knife flat and put about to the middle of the chicken, and you're gonna slice through the chicken. As to be careful not to cut yourself. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It hardly ever is. That's the beauty of this recipe. So once we have our piece of chicken and we've butterflied our chicken, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take some saran wrap, and we're gonna go and lightly beat the chicken with a mallet or a rolling pin or any like blunt object you have works. So I'm gonna get some saran wrap. So once you have your saran wrap over your chicken, you're gonna take whatever object you're using. In this case, I'm using a rolling pin, and you're gonna lightly beat the object until it's a little bit thinner. This will make it easier for us whenever it comes to put the cream cheese on top and then roll it in. So. Be careful not to beat it too thin, or else it'll tear while you're rolling it. So like you see, I went ahead and I beat the chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the saran wrap off, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna beat the second chicken while they're preparing the rest of that. So once you've beat your chicken, you can go ahead and you can put this off to the side or in the trash can. I'm gonna put it in my little there. So next I'm gonna grab the cream cheese filling, which I've got right here. It's gonna look a little like that. We just took our room temperature cream cheese, and then we've taken a few green onions that we've taken a few green onions that we've chopped a bit thin, about a 1/4 inch, and we've also applied that in there. So we're going to take that, we're going to scoop it out with the spoon, and you're going to take a little bit and you're going to put it in the center of your chicken, and you're just going to take that and you're just going to smear it around in your chicken right there. And you might need more. You can actually add as much or as little as this as you want. It just kind of goes to taste. I personally like a decent amount of cream cheese, so I'm going to add a little bit more cream cheese to mine than you may or anyone else may. And you want to keep it about a 1/2 inch or an inch away from all edges, just to kind of make it to where when you're rolling it, it's not going out the edges. And if it does, that's fine. It does kind of add a little flavor to it. So I'm going to add a little bit more here. So again, it is important to remember that we are dealing with raw chicken, so washing your hand is an important step in this so we can avoid any foodborne illnesses, like in this case, salmonella. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our chicken and we're going to roll it. You can roll it toward you or away from you. I'm going to roll it to you guys. So we're going to roll it up. Again, it does not have to be perfect. That's the beauty of this whole thing. So once you have it rolled up and it's looking a little something like this, it's going to look kind of like a little roll of chicken. And so once you have that, you're going to take some bacon, which I have set to the side here. You can use 2, you can use 3. Again, it comes down to as many or as little as you want. I'm going to take my chicken right here. I'm going to set it on this bacon. And I'm going to put it at a kind of a bit of an angle so that as I'm wrapping it, it's kind of covering a bit more of the chicken. And what this will do is it's going to hold the chicken in place to avoid using anything else like toothpicks or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this chicken up. And you kind of want to make sure the roll that you're rolling is a bit tight, just to kind of hold it in place. So I'm going to use one more piece of bacon here to kind of secure it all in. All right, so once you're done, you should have something looking a little bit like this. It's the same thing as it was before. Now it's just wrapped in bacon. All right, so once you've completed that step, next what we're going to do now is we're going to take some tinfoil here. If I can get it. Like that. And you take your tinfoil, you're going to put it over your chicken, and you're just kind of wrapped in the tinfoil, just like that. And then you're just going to, I just take my sides and I just twist them just to kind of secure them in place. Like that. And once you're done, you should have this. It's going to kind of look like you're baking a potato, but it's actually just chicken. So once you have that, you're just going to set that aside, and that's all you got to do for your chicken. So next what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our potatoes. What Christian over here is doing, he's dicing our potatoes, and we're going to put them in some boiling water with salt to taste. And then once we do that, we're basically just going to cook it until they're nice and soft so we can make our mashed potatoes. like I was saying before, it is okay if these aren't perfect. That's the whole beauty of this. It's a homemade recipe. You can make it as pretty or as just, or like how I've got it, as just ragtag as you want it. I mean, it's really up to you. At the end of the day, it's gonna taste great. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll this one together. All right. That is our second chicken done. I'm gonna get some tenfold for that one as well. All right, the second one done. Now we're gonna move over here. And now we've got our potatoes that are diced and ready, and we have our water that is salted to taste. And we're gonna take these potatoes and we're gonna carefully put them in here as to not splash ourselves with hot water, because that would not be very fun. I'm gonna lightly put those in there. And basically what I'm doing here, what this is gonna do is this is gonna cook the potatoes just enough, basically soften them up so that when it comes time to blending them and mashing them into mashed potatoes, it's a lot easier. Like that. All right, so now we're just gonna let these potatoes, we're just gonna let them sit here and let them come to temperature. Now that those mashed potatoes are cooking, and while those are cooking, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put these chickens in the oven. So what we're gonna need is you're gonna need a tin to put them in. You can use glass, metal, just anything that's oven safe. And then we're gonna put them in for about 20 minutes at 450 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put these chickens carefully in this container. And they don't have to be perfect, like you can see here. There's empty spaces, but that's all right. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna go put it in the oven. Excuse me, Nala. Watch out. All right. We're gonna go ahead and we're start sauteing our broccoli. So I went ahead and I added a mixture of garlic seasoning and olive oil to our broccoli mix right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take that olive oil and I'm gonna put this in the pan that I've set. I went ahead and I set this to a medium. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna add the oil to the pan. So we're gonna add a little more oil to that. All right, we're gonna let this oil come to temperature. And once that comes to temp, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our broccoli and we're going to saute it until the broccoli's nice and golden with a crisp edge. So now that our oil is getting hot, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our broccoli in. We're going to take a spatula and we're going to mix that broccoli around. Make sure to keep the broccoli moving and not sitting in one place for too long, or else the broccoli will get too burnt. And you can cook this for as long or as little as you'd want. It's really up to your liking because it's just how you like your broccoli cooked. Now me personally, I like my broccoli cooked a little bit longer. So I'm gonna let this sit here for a little bit longer than some other people might. while this broccoli, I'm actually a bit of a funny story. For me and my family, every time we're cooking, no matter what the dish is, we always manage to set up our house's smoke detector. And we have our home security, and they always call us and is like, are you guys okay? Is the house on fire or something like? And we're always like, nope, just cooking. It's just kind of like a coincidence. It always happens, no matter how hard we try not to. All right, so now that this broccoli is almost done, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get a bowl to put this broccoli in and set it off to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn off this heat, kind of let the temperature of the pan cook the broccoli for the rest of the way, or as far much as it needs to go. All right. I'm gonna take this and we're gonna carefully put it into our pan. And we're going to take this and we're just going to set it to the side and we're going to allow that to cool off. Switch that over here. So now that this is done, we'll set this to the side. And what we're going to start doing now is we're going to actually work on our bacon now for our topping for our potatoes. We'll take our bacon, and you don't have to add any oil to the pan because the bacon has enough fat to keep it from sticking to the pan. So we're going to let this come to temperature for a bit now that we have a new pan. And once this comes to temperature, we'll add our bacon. So now that our pan's getting up to temperature, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add our bacon in. So I can hear it's cooking. And like I said, this bacon is for our topping for our potatoes to kind of give it a little more extra flair. And if you'd like to, it really is up to you. You could take more green onions and chop those up, use that as an extra topping. It's really all up to you though. Once again, this is a home recipe, so you can make this as similar to this or as far off as you want. It's really up to you. The important thing when cooking the bacon is to make sure it is still moving, because you don't want the bacon to stick to the pan, because it can happen occasionally. And if it sticks to the pan, it'll burn that one spot, and then that's one less piece of bacon you can have on your potatoes, and we don't want that. Personally, me and my family, we're a bunch of bacon lovers. Every time my mom makes mashed potatoes, I ask for bacon because I don't know, I just love bacon. So with this bacon, you're also going to want to have a plate and some paper towels laying on that plate to make sure to absorb the oil of the bacon, because the bacon can get a little oily. So as you can see, our bacon is becoming a nice golden brown, so it is getting there. If you look closely, you can see how much smaller the bacon has gotten since we've added it into the pan. And all that really is, it's not you doing it wrong, I promise. It's really just the fat burning off the bacon and just going into the pan. As you can see how much more oil there is in the pan now. This bacon is just about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get ready to transfer it to the plate. I need that and paper towels.
Oh, okay.
Then take this off the heat.
I got the plate though.
You got the plate? No.
I got the plate though.
That's what matters. All right. Yeah. So once you finish cooking your bacon, and again, you can cook it to as crispy or as not crispy as you want it. It's really up to you. It should, this is how I like to cook my bacon, just a little crispy. As it cools, it'll get crunchier. So we have some paper towels right here. So we're gonna take these and we're gonna put them on the plate. I'm gonna take this, and you're gonna kind of do it, you don't wanna pour it all onto the plate because that's a lot of oil, so I'm just gonna take my spatula and I'm just gonna kind of scoop it off the plate and just let it, kind of keeping as much oil in the pan as I can. And if a little falls out on the plate, that is okay. That's why we have this paper towel, to absorb the extra oil. All right, set this aside, let that oil cool down. And that's the step for cooking the bacon. So an important part while you're cooking is to clean up as you go, because if you wait till the end, it's just gonna be a big mess. You just got done eating your food, you're full, you just wanna go lay down. So it's important to clean your area as you go. All right, so now that the chicken timer has gone off, we're gonna grab it out of the oven. We're gonna carefully set it down, and we're gonna carefully remove the tin foil that's wrapped around the chicken. So I'm gonna come over here. Go ahead and take this. Take that. And the nice thing about tin foil is once you take it out of whatever heat source is heating it up, it cools off immediately. So we're going to take it out of here, just like that. And that's how it should look. I'm going to grab this other one. All right, now that we have our chicken, we're going to carefully take this, we're going to place it in our pan. We'll place that other one in there, just like that. We'll put our gloves back on, and we're going to go ahead and put the chicken right back in the oven for another 20 minutes, same at 450. So now that our potatoes are done cooking, and you can check that by taking a spoon, you'll scoop off a bit of a potato, you'll take a fork, and you're gonna lightly press it in, and if that potato just mashes and breaks, then your potatoes are ready. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dump the water out of this using a strainer. So I'm gonna take this carefully, turn off the heat, and take this carefully over here, where I'm gonna pour it into the strainer. All right, now that we've got those potatoes, let that water drain out as much as we can. We're gonna bring it over here and we're gonna put it into our mixing bowl. You can set this to the side. And now that we've got our potatoes in our mixing bowl, we're gonna add 1 stick of softened butter. We have half a cup of milk, which we'll add later. 1 tablespoon of salt, or to taste, as much as you will. Since we added a little more to the water, I'm gonna do about half of this tablespoon. And again, it is to taste. We have half a cup of cheddar cheese. And then you have half a cup of our cream cheese. So we'll add that in there. I'm gonna take my fork, I'm gonna kind of mash these into each other for a bit. And then after that, we're gonna take it over to the mixer and we're gonna put it in the mixer and let it run until it's a nice creamy consistency. And that's where our milk's gonna come into play. There you go. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our mixing bowl to the mixer. Make sure to lock it in place. We'll add our mixing bit. For me, I'm using this whisk piece. Twist that on, raise it up. And you're gonna set it to the second knob. That's what I do. We're just gonna let that run for a bit, let those potatoes kind of mash up. And then once they've mashed up for a bit, we're gonna take our milk and we're gonna slowly add it into the mix. And this is basically gonna give it that creamy consistency. We're gonna let that mix for a bit. So whenever you're mixing, if you notice that some of the potatoes are getting stuck kind of towards the top of the bowl, you'll just turn off your mixer for a second. You're going to take your spatula, and we're just going to mix around the edge of the bowl as to get those potatoes back in the mix. And we'll let that keep mixing. Now that our potatoes are done, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this off of the blender. So we'll detach our mixing part first. And we're gonna carefully take this off and we'll bring it over here. It's a very nice, it's a nice creamy mashed potatoes. And then you can taste it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a spoon and I'm gonna taste it to taste and see if it needs a little more salt or any seasoning. So again, we're gonna taste this, and we're gonna give it a taste. And it's perfect, doesn't need no salt, no pepper, nothing. So the taste was correct. Take this, we're gonna set this to the side for a moment. So while that chicken is finishing up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna prepare most of our plate. So we're gonna take some mashed potatoes here. I'm gonna set it on the plate. Now, me personally, I'm a mashed potato fan, so I'm gonna put a nice healthy amount on my plate. Just like that. I'll go ahead and take my broccoli, put that off to the side. Get a fork here. Take the broccoli, just like that. And then, like I said earlier, I'm a bacon fan, so I'm gonna put bacon on my mashed potatoes here, just like that. And then by now our chicken should be done. So by now our chicken is done. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go grab it out of the oven, and be careful because again, it is very hot. That's what your chicken should look like. Nice and crispy, golden brown. We're gonna take this. We're gonna take our chicken. We're gonna put it on our cutting board. Go ahead, I'm gonna chop into this chicken for you guys. And there we go. That's our cream cheese chicken. So we'll take this and we're gonna place it on our plate. And then just like that, that's our dish finished. I hope you guys enjoyed watching our show today, and I hope you guys have a successful time cooking this. I hope you guys have a very nice bonding time as well. And this is a great alternative for a healthy, balanced cooking and nutritional meal.